Good morning, and welcome to the Growth and Thriving Morning Mindset. I'm your host, Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak, the biker psychologist, and this morning I wanted to talk to you about a phenomenon that I've been noticing in some of my coaching sessions with clients recently. For those of you who are fans of Brene Brown, you'll know that she talks about the ways in which we engineer smallness into our life. And that can sound a little bit judgmental, right? We're accusing people of engineering smallness into our lives. But I think it's largely done unconsciously and unintentionally. Many of us grow up in environments and experience hardships or adversities during our life that help form the narrative we have about ourselves. And a lot of times, the narrative goes unexamined, right? Unless you really sit down with good self-awareness and kind of meditate on it and really consider, what are the stories that I have about myself? What's the narrative I have about myself in my head? In what ways do I prevent myself from becoming whole and from living complete? It's very easy to just go through life with those narratives as assumptions, unexamined, and to live as though they're truth when maybe they're not. So I'll give you some examples of client interactions recently with people who engineer smallness into their lives that prevents them from living their fullest and thriving to their most. I have a client who is a competitor, a fitness competitor, and this client was having some difficulties with interpersonal relationships in which the client becomes easily upset and is sort of easily shaken emotionally, which happens to many of us. Many of us can feel disrespected or unappreciated or overlooked by the people in our lives, by our loved ones, and that's hurtful and it can upset us. That's reasonable. I was having a conversation with this client about trying to lose another 1 or 2% body fat in order to compete in this competition. And it occurred to me that if the competition was really about who's the leanest, then there would be no need for people to compete. You would just have to show up and have your body fat measured. You could do some hydrostatic weighing, and whoever's the leanest would win. But the fact is, the person who's leanest doesn't always win. It's the person who can get up on stage and compete and be present and have a presence and be unflappable in their mindset and to just own the stage and own the competition. That's the person who wins. Everyone who shows up really is within a point or two of each other on body fat. Everybody's lean when they show up. And so it occurred to me, and we had a very, I think, fruitful discussion, that worrying about the 1 or 2% body fat is the amateur shit. The real champions develop that mindset where the people in our lives, at least as we're preparing for our competition, the people in our lives can't upset us. They can't shake us. They can't disturb our foundation. That's the champion stuff. That's what makes people win. Not the 1% body fat. Yes, be lean. By all means, be muscular, be lean, be prepared. But show up with the mindset where you cannot be pulled off your game by your spouse or your child or your best friend or anybody for that matter, even a competitor who's trying to get in your head. That's the accomplishment that's going to make us live big, that's going to make us loom large. Another person I interact with, who I work with, is trying to get ahead financially. And this person uses coupons and bargain shops and looks for deals and buys groceries on the cheap. shops at Goodwill, all of this sort of money saving effort. However, it's been a struggle to get this person to start putting some money aside and investing it into something that earns some interest. So saving a few dollars here or there on your groceries is great. If you normally spend $300 on groceries and this time you spend $200 on groceries, amazing. But that extra $100, if it's not invested in something that's earning some interest, it's just depreciating due to inflation. And while that saving that extra $100 is great, if you then go and, spend it on things that are not assets or, frivolities, if you will, you spend it on eating out, or you spend it on Starbucks or going to the movies. Those things are fine to do, and you should enjoy those things. There's nothing wrong with those things. But if your intention, if your goal is to get ahead financially so that you can create a life of thriving, and you don't have some money moving into an investment account every week or month or every pay period that's going to start working as an asset and paying you back, then you are unintentionally and unconsciously engineering smallness into your life that's preventing you from living large and living big. So my challenge to you, everyone, is to be mindful, right? Examine your lives, examine your behaviors, examine your habits, and find the ways in which you engineer smallness into your life. I know you don't do it intentionally. I know you don't do it on purpose. That's why you have to really have some good self-awareness and pay attention, because these things won't jump out at you at first. They just seem like your normal habits. But when you recognize that they are keeping you playing small, then you can start to make some real different decisions and open up the doors that will allow you to really live big, that will allow you to grow, that will allow you to thrive and to create the life you want. So examine those lives, journal about it if you want, take some notes, think about it, think about where this smallness that we engineer into our lives comes from. I have it too, by the way. I keep stumbling over ways in which I engineer, and every time I make progress, I find new ways in which I keep myself small. And it's an ongoing battle, an ongoing effort to keep coming up with new decisions and new ways to create new patterns that don't keep my life small. So sit with it, see what you come up with, and let me know. Message me, DM me on the social medias if you like. You can always email me at Jerry, Jerry, .growthandthriving@gmail, all spelled out. And let me know how you make out. I'd love to share your story. I'd love to hear how you're doing, even if you don't want your story shared. And if you're enjoying these morning emails, please, by all means, like them, comment on YouTube if you'd like to, respond to the emails, let me know what you think, and share them. Let people in your life know. They can go to growthandthriving.com and sign up and get these emails every Monday and Friday morning free of charge, and I will never share or sell people's contact information. So thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful day. And until next time, it's Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak, the biker psychologist, saying, biker up and just keep growing until you're thriving. Take care, everybody.